Hey everybody, welcome back to Runaway Roses. Today we have a lot going on.
Yes, we're going to install upper StableLoads, assemble Torklift FastGuns, load the camper up, and take it to the Catskill to weigh it.
That's right, it's going to be interesting. Plus we're also going to find out how much squat there is once we add the upper StableLoads, and we'll compare it to our video a couple videos ago and see how much the upper StableLoads actually help. Stick around. Alright, well let me show you what we're going to install. We got some upper StableLoads by Torklift, and we got some FastGun turnbuckles by Torklift as well. We got some black ones, so that way they'll match the truck. You know, you got to look good. And so we're going to assemble those, and we got a little trick on how we're going to take off the factory bump stop pads so that we can install these. So let's get to it.
I'm going to install the upper StableLoads on the passenger side of the truck, but first we have to remove the factory bump stops. And to do that, instead of using a screwdriver or something like that, we're going to use what's called a pickle fork. It'll make the job a whole lot easier. All right, they're a little tough to get off, but if you just use a little, whatever, what is that called?
They're rubber bump stops.
The rubber bump stops. So if you do this,
you just got to push the pickle fork in there.
As you're going along, and it'll start pulling away.
Pulling it down.
Yeah. It comes coming off pretty
There
easy.
you go.
No.
Just pry it out of there.
Yeah, I'm thinking pull it off.
There it is.
There it is. See it?
It's that easy.
Some of these are a little bit tougher than others to get off, but let's see. Once you get it started.
Yeah, you just got to push it in there real good and pry it down.
There it goes. All right.
There it is.
Once you get it started, it's pretty easy to finish it.
All right, now what?
Now we're going to move on and install the upper StableLoads. All right, I'm going to install the upper StableLoad on the passenger side. First we installed the ones on the driver's side, and the one on the back was a little bit tough. Todd had to actually like clamp it with a C-clamp to move, clamp the spring with a C-clamp to get it down so we could put it in. But on this side, even though it's tight, we can just use our hands to get it in. You have to kind of go in from the side like this, and then just kind of push it like that, and then it's in. And then you put a washer, lock washer, and the nut. And it's that easy. All right, this one's actually going to be a little bit easier because the spring is further away. Well, I say that, it's actually going to be a little bit more difficult for me to lift it up, but
Yeah, you have to hold it up.
hold it up, and
Get the washer and.
there's the washer, lock washer, and the nut. Gonna get them started. All right, once I get these tightened down as much as I can, I'm gonna let Todd take over and put some muscle into it. How'd I do?
Did great. The instructions say 40 foot-pounds, and here's 40 foot-pounds.
All right.
Perfect. Torklift makes a variety of turnbuckles for truck campers, and we have a few of them here. We just want to kind of go over the variety, at least that we have. We got 3 different models. Just want to show you those in case you're not familiar with them. They have the very basic entry-level model, which is called the Anchor Guard. It's a spring-loaded turnbuckle. There's not a quick release on these, so you just basically turn them and tighten them up, snug them up, and that sort of thing. And we have not put these together, so I can't show you them assembled, but it's pretty basic. It's very similar to this. This would be the next step up, which is the XL, the spring load XL. It's very similar to the regular FastGun with the housing on it, and basically on these you just tighten them up as well, and or you can hook both ends at one point and rotate that, and then it'll snug the camper up. So above this is the top of the line FastGun with the quick release lever on it. So These are I find to be the best. There are, like I said, other options, but these are the quickest, hence the name FastGun. They are fast to take on and off, and basically you just tighten it up kind of here on the bottom to get it to where it needs to be, and then once it gets there, you just snug it down. So those are the 3 models of turnbuckles from Torklift. We're going to go ahead and do an assembly on the FastGun so you can see how to do that, and then we're going to load up the camper. So when you get the Torklift FastGun, it does come disassembled, and it's very easy to put together. And once you get everything out of the box, you just grab the rod that threads into the bottom. You get the little round O-ring and just slide it on down the rod here, because this is what's going to be what you use to actually tell how far to tighten it down. So once you get the O-ring on, stick the rod up through the center of the FastGun, and then you just get this square nut and just kind of put it down in front of the rod. I'm just going to kind of hold it down flat with my finger and twist the rod, and it just goes right on. That square nut is what sits inside this square tube in order to basically help you be able to adjust the length of the rod so you can tighten it up or loosen it up on the camper. So once that is on there, I will next grab a rubber flat washer, put that on there. You can kind of hold it with your finger and just kind of thread it on there with the rod, or you can kind of push it on with a screwdriver or something, but you can kind of just hold on to it and thread it on. So it's pretty easy. And then next, it comes with a nylon locking nut. So we're just going to go ahead and put on that nut, and since it does have the nylon locking thread on it, it does get kind of difficult to tighten, so you have to put a little bit of muscle into it. I found that if you just kind of push it forward, and then it kind of holds the nut, and then basically just turn the rod and it threads through that nut and tightens it up. And that is a safety nut that they put on there to keep the assembly from falling apart, or keep you from also being able to unthread the rod while you're adjusting it. So once that's on there, you just pull the rod down. Comes with a little plastic square cap. Put that cap in there. It goes down over the end of it. It's a little bit tight. I'm just going to grab a screwdriver here to push it in from the bottom.
Be careful and don't stab yourself.
Yeah. And there you go. Once you get that cap in, it's fully assembled and it's ready to go. Let's go put it on the camper and take it to the Catskill. Let's take a look at the StableLoads on the springs there. These springs have definitely been pushed down quite a bit. The lower spring is up against the spring pack, so they're all the way down there. With the weight of the camper, that had definitely pushed the overload springs down quite a bit. One good thing is the truck's not sitting down on the axle with the factory bump stop. All right, so now we got the camper loaded up on the truck. We got the StableLoads installed, and now we're going to go ahead and measure the wheel well height and the front and the back bed height, and we'll compare it to the video I did a couple weeks ago. Okay, so the camper's on the back of the truck with it on the factory rubber bump stops. Let's measure it and see where we're at. We're right at about 38 inches. So let's find out what the sag is here on the truck. It's about 39 inches. So 39 inches, that means with the StableLoads and the weight of the camper, it really only brought us up about 1 inch. Also, we did notice that with the wheel well height coming up 1 inch, that the back of the staircase actually rose up 2 inches because of the rise of the angle with those StableLoads. So I did bring the back end up 2 inches, wheel well 1 inch, but looks like we're probably going to either need some lower StableLoads or something similar to that, and maybe some airbags, and I don't know, we'll look into it. But so the StableLoads are definitely helping, but we still need to get it up a little bit more. So with the FastGuns, they're super easy to hook up. I'll show you how I do it here. I just hook the top up, and then basically you come down here and you can adjust the rod down there on the bottom. You can just turn it. And that O-ring I showed you earlier in the video, you can put that at the bottom of the square tube here, and then open the handle, feed the bottom through the mount, and then basically when you push it, the handle down, you want it to rise up off that O-ring a 1/4 inch. Sometimes I will actually I'll put my thumbnail there, and then I'll put the handle down. I can tell if there's a 1/4 inch as well. So it's another way to do it. And when you buy these FastGuns, they do come with a little carabiner thing that if you need to hook it up to, in order to get some extra length, you can do that. And then it comes with these pins, the locking pins, that go through the hole up here on top. Well, they're not locking pins, but they have a latch on there. So that way it makes sure that the handle will not come open. Torklift does also offer some locks that you can buy. We have a set of those. You can just put those on there, and you just push it on there, and it locks. So you can have locks on all 4 of them. If you're interested in doing that, you can buy those because you know these FastGuns are very expensive, so you don't want anybody to steal them. One thing that we've done a lot in the past is I've just used master locks, and I would just slide those through, and I got a set of 4, and all 4 of them use the same key, and I just do that, and you know, it's a good strong master lock. So that's about it when it comes to using the FastGuns and putting them on.
All right, so we're off and we're going to the cat scale. Actually, it's the dog scale. We had to tell Taylor that so she would go with us.
That's right, Taylor's with us too. So we're gonna go find out what this whole rig weighs. It'll be interesting to find out. Hopefully we're under 14,000 pounds.
Here you go see kitty cat scale. Huh. You might need to get back because you're gonna fall. It's not really the best day to go for a test drive in our camper and truck. It's a little misty outside, and traffic's kind of bad.
Yeah, but we're not going too far.
Not going too far.
Getting a good feel of what the truck feels like with the camper on it. Feels pretty good. Pretty impressed.
Yeah, we're on the highway.
Very impressed.
We're on the highway right now, and we're going about 66 miles an hour.
Feels good, nice and smooth. We're at cat scale 1386. Carla's punching it in on her phone here on the app. See what it's going to give us. Where are we at?
Steer axle 4,120, drive axle 9,480, gross 13,600.
All right, we're back from the cat scale. Just thought we'd kind of go over the numbers and talk about the StableLoads here real quick. So on the cat scale, the numbers came out at our gross weight is 13,600 pounds. So that was good. We're under the 14,000 pound rating. I mean, not by a lot, but we're under, so that's good. Yeah. We did have a half a gallon or half a tank of fuel in the truck. So I mean that would obviously go up, and if we added food and water, we'd be real close to the 14,000 pounds. So even with this heavy camper, so
Yep.
I'm real happy about that.
We were able to add the StableLoads and we put together the FastGuns and showed you guys how those work.
Yeah, they're all working great. The StableLoads are made for a really nice ride. The truck drove smoothly, and you know, at least the StableLoads added a couple extra inches towards all the way at the back of the camper where the stairs hang down so low. So that extra 2 inches did help. We may make an adjustment with those stairs so just to have some more clearance, but we're probably going to possibly add some lower StableLoads or something similar. And I would actually like to put on some airbags as well, just for the versatility of them, and because they're just nice to have. And but so far, thrilled with the truck. I gotta say, just for a real quick once over on that, with the 7.3 gas, it's got no problem hauling this camper. No problem.
And Todd made the comment when we were on the highway that, you know, really if somebody just got this truck and didn't do anything to it, it would haul a camper, a pretty good sized truck camper pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, as it is right now, even just the way it is with the upper StableLoads, it's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
I'm just picky. I like things to be, you know, overly done, overly good. But so that's why I just want to always make some extra upgrades. But it's acceptable the way it is as far as, you know, it's handling the load.
Yeah.
But the truck itself with the gas motor, it's great so far. I'm thrilled with it. I mean, we haven't done any mountain passes or anything like that, but it's got plenty of power, and not regretting the decision as far as, you know, getting the gas over diesel so far.
Yeah,
so.
and later we'll talk about some of the pros of this truck that we didn't really expect.
Yeah. So we appreciate you hanging around and watching, and I want to say thank you to Torklift for providing the products that we installed today to evaluate those, and we'll give some feedback on that later on down the road as we use them some more.
And we'll put the links below the video to those as well.
And we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye-bye.